Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negro. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform we discuss everyday issues where we uh, deal with everyday issues and we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And I also need to let everybody know that the subscriber note has been enabled. However, it's for the first 5 minutes. Okay. And the reason why that's done to try to control the movement of the trolls. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a subscriber from the very beginning or recently joined, I do appreciate all the love and all the support that you have given me and continue to give me. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, particularly when it comes to Instagram and TikTok. I'm really in touch by your love and support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices and all those who watch from the clouds, even the haters, because basically my haters are basically secret fans. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Okay. Um, I think tonight's stream will be interesting. Whether you catch it live or catch it in the playback, and the topic is why seek the force. Okay. So it's kind of like we're going through Monday, we discussed why people hate Valentine's Day, and then today we're talking about divorce because it is a reality. Um, the days where for many people to death do us part does not apply, but there are many factors involved, okay? And I want to make this particularly clear. This is not a stream to put the blame on either sex, okay? But simply to discuss why divorce is happening, okay? And it could be many factors. But before we get into the topic, we're going to have another issue of In My Words. Now, I just recently came across an article here in New York where they're doing a pilot program with the migrants. Okay. So basically, what they're doing, they're invested $53 million for the purposes of providing preloaded debit cards to migrant families. Okay. And the whole purpose behind that is to purchase food. Okay. I couldn't believe it when I read it, so I had to read it twice. And it's like, and I, this is another example where the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Okay. Now I have had in the past, done overtime working in these shelters, and I've seen the food where the migrants um, have to consume. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, this is not the best quality food. Okay. In fact, some of them is basically gross. Okay. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with institutionalized food, I mean, that's what happens. Okay. Good evening, Gigi. Thank you very much for stopping by. And I just want to let everybody know that, of course, Gigi does have her channel. So I'm going to ask if you have not done so, please subscribe and check out her content. Okay. Now, this is the thing. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. This whole situation was mishandled from day one. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Okay. First of all, okay. First of all, um, I get it. People have to leave their countries. Some because of political pressure, some because of their life is in danger, things of that nature. I get it. Okay. But I'm sorry, but we cannot save the entire world. Okay. What should have been done is the following. President Biden should have had a discussion with all 50 governors and all the other territories. And basically, they should have had some sort of an agreement or plan where they're only going to take in a certain number of these migrants. And then once the state or the territory reaches their limit, they cannot take any more. What's happening is that you have states like Texas and Florida buzzing these people to states like New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, California, and things of that nature. Okay. And, shifting into so-called uh, sancti cities. Okay. Now, the big problem we have here in New York that is written in our law that we must provide shelter to everyone that comes in, regardless of their situation, regardless of their immigration status. Okay, okay, and it's understandable. No one should be forced to be sleeping in the streets and subways and what have you. But the problem is this: you cannot deal with what you can deal with. And the fact of the matter is, here in New York, we already have a problem, a homeless problem with our own people. Okay. So you're talking about bringing possibly 100,000 of these people here to New York, and then you're struggling to find places for them to sleep. Okay. I'm sorry. And let me tell you something. As a Latino, okay, I get it. I sympathize with him, but look, you have to draw the line somewhere. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Look, let me tell you something. Yeah, that is crazy. That is. Okay. And look, and the fact of the matter is, we're not vetting these people properly. I don't think so. We don't know what what these people have. We don't know their medical conditions. We don't know whether or not they have criminal records and things of that nature. So we bring all these people here to New York, and then we'll have to almost beg people to open up their homes to these people. I'm sorry, it's not doable. It's not doable by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. So now, to 500 these migrant families, they're getting preloaded debit cards as much as $1,000 for food. Okay. And I see here, whoa, okay. Look, let me tell you something. The problem again, like you see, the problem is we're not vetting these people. We're not. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, look, I remember one place. Look, I remember one place that I actually did overtime. They had an oriented person living in the shelter with their children. It's like, so basically we're like the human, like we're like the savior of the world, and we're gonna have to save everybody. I'm sorry. I mean, I believe in compassion. I believe in being compassionate, but there is a limit to what you can do. Okay. And look, I remember when my mother was alive, God rest her soul, she used to say to us, you cannot take the food to feed your children, to feed other people's children, and let your own children go hungry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I look, and I know with some, some people they're gonna look at me like I'm being cruel or whatever. Okay, but look, cruelty is like, look, is when these people have to go from place to place to place because we don't have the space. We were not properly prepared to deal with this large number of people, and we shouldn't even have to. We shouldn't have to. Okay. And unfortunately, it's not going to get any better soon. Okay. And they're talking about that if this pilot is successful, that they're going to expand it. Excuse me? We got our own people who are living out in the streets. We got our own people who don't have a place to live. We have our own people that need homes, that need jobs and what have you. And we can't and we're gonna go over and beyond for people that are coming from other countries. And why aren't the other countries doing their part to help? Now I get it. Not every country is like it's like a first world power like the United States, but you have other countries in Latin America that will at least that can help taking some of these people. Okay, but it's a crazy situation altogether. Okay, my heart goes up, and the ones that really suffer are the children. Okay, because they are they're being forced into a new environment and whatever, and living in a land where Spanish is not the primary language, and living in customs and beliefs which is completely foreign to them. I get it. It's a problem, but it's a problem because we didn't plan properly. We didn't plan properly how to address it. We didn't plan properly how to make sure that not one state gets overloaded, one city gets overloaded. Okay. And of course, I know there's going to be some bleeding heart that's going to say I'm racist, then I anti Latino, even though I'm Latino. No, I am Latino, but I believe in common sense. There's nothing wrong with helping people in need, but only to the extent that you're able to. Okay. You cannot do more than what you can do, and you cannot neglect your own people. I'm sorry. Okay. And actually, if and I've discussed this with some of these migrants, and even some of the migrants agree. Okay, we should do what we can to help people in need, but we need to include our own citizens. Okay, we need to include people like the veterans who actually put their lives in the line, uh, and to serve this country. Yeah, but that's the problem, Gigi. The problem is we're basically trying to save the entire world, and we're in no shape to do it. That's the problem. But all I can say is, God help us. Okay. Hopefully, at some point, there'll come to a situation when things get a little bit more manageable. And hopefully, maybe some of these countries can do their part to try to take in some of these people. I mean, okay, I get it. We're the richest country in the world, but even the richest country in the world don't have unlimited resources. And and I apologize for getting on my soapbox, but that's a reality because this is uncommon sense. Because here, this platform at least, and a few other platforms that I have the privilege to participate in, they use common sense. Well, with with that being said, we're going to get into the main topic. Okay. Um, you know what? Let me correct that. I always say we're one of the richest countries in the world. We're one. Okay. The problem is we're not spending it. We're not using our resources properly. So I have to correct myself and say we're one of the richest countries in the world, but we need to do better. Okay. So getting no, no, I can talk about this situation with the migrants until doomsday, but I don't want to devote the entire string on that. I have discussed it on previous streams. I just want to give you my point of view. So the topic tonight: why is divorce? Okay, look, the fact of the matter is, um, a large number of marriages today will end up in divorce. And there are many factors. Okay. Some of them can be attributed to not properly vetting the partner correctly. Okay. Yeah. Look, let me tell you something. New York is going broke dealing with this crisis. And so that they're gone to Albany, which is our state capital, to try to get help, and the federal government. We're gonna have to draw the line somewhere. So, as I stated before, there are many reasons why marriages are ending in divorce. Some of it has to do with not properly vetting um, your partner. Some of it has to do with um, different philosophies that have different points of view, which will not be able to reconcile. Um, it could also the lack of communication. Also, let's keep it real, infidelity. Okay, because we got to keep this real as well. Okay, not everyone is wired to stay in a committed monogamous relationship. And to those who are not wired that way, if you want to go and date as many people you want and engage in sexual encounter as much, I mean, what two consenting adults do, that's perfectly fine with me. Okay. But a lot of the times is you have different philosophies, you have different points of view. You also have neglect in many ways and forms, emotional neglect, physical neglect. Also, there's also a lack of communication. There's also not having maintaining that commitment because a marriage does take a lot of work. Gigi, you you can attest to this. Um, I know, there, but of course, you and your husband have gone through, you know, issues that all married couples have gone through, okay? And, you know, not everyone has a desire to maintain a, a healthy marriage and what have you. And it takes a lot of work. And it takes a lot of work. But okay, I stated this disclaimer and I'm going to state it again. This is not here to put guilt on either sex. Okay. This is what we're going to talk about is why this happens. Okay. Okay. And in my case, I was married, unfortunately, and ended the divorce. Okay. And of course, I'm going to keep it 100. I was partially responsible. My ex-wife was partially responsible. We had differences that we were not able to resolve. So instead of going back and forth and arguing, what have you, I did the responsible thing was, okay, you know what? We don't match together. Let us go our separate ways. And then we can go and find our significant other, which will make us happy. Okay. And that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share an article. Okay. And let me just state that the link to join the panel has been pinned. At any point, if you wish to join the panel and express your point of view regarding the topic, you're more than welcome to do so. What I will ask again is the following. If this is your first time here on this platform, okay, I will ask you to come up in the backstage because I want to make sure that no one flashes anything inappropriate to cause the people of YouTube to take down their stream. So I came across this article online, and these are some of the reasons why divorce occur. And this is based on a 2005 national survey. Reasons for divorce are complex, and most participants cite multiple causes for the decision. Okay. Lack of commitment. And this is the actual percentage 73.2%. A diminished desire to put effort into making your relationship work can look like poor communication, lack of compromise, or the absence of everyday kindness. Okay. Now, communication is very important, particularly when you're dealing with your significant other, or as I refer to it, your better half. Okay. Another factor: too much arguing and conflict, 55%. Constant fighting can signify that you're not compatible or have irreconcilable differences, explained Dr. Harold Hong, a board certified psychiatrist from Raleigh, North Carolina. Endless arguments and poor conflict resolution may take a toll on the relationship and lead couples to divorce. Okay. Now here's another issue. Okay. Infidelity. Research from 2014 suggests that 20 to 40% of U.S. marriages has faced at least one incident of infidelity. Infidelity can lead to feelings of betrayal, anger, and resentment, which can destroy a relationship, explained Dr. Gianni Opel, a licensed clinical social worker from Houston, Texas. The effects of infidelity may include anxiety, depression, trauma, trust challenges, shame, guilt, and some withdrawal. Now this is a serious issue, and I'm gonna take a little bit of time to break it down. Why? Okay, when a man and a woman, oh, let me rephrase that. Two adults decide to marry each other and live as a couple and live as one, so to speak. A unique bond is developed. A unique trust is developed. Okay. When one of the parties seeks an extramarital affair, what that does, it damages or destroys the trust that's in the relationship. Okay. And depending on the circumstances, the damage may be irreparable. Okay. And also, what happened is to the party that's the um, victim infidelity, it creates a lot of doubt. It also damages their self esteem. It also raises the question, can my partner be trusted again? Okay. And the fact of the matter is, when a person is unfaithful, it's going to be very hard for that person to gain their trust back, and it's going to take a long time if it can be gained. Okay. And some people have low tolerances regarding infidelity. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just simply stating that that is a reality. Another factor that lead people to end the divorce is marrying too young. Hahn explained that growth and change are inevitable, but you are not growing together. It can put a strain on your relationship. When you marry at a young age, you may still develop key aspects of your personality. Signs that you may be growing apart from your spouse may include an absence of shared interests, having different life goals, and feelings of isolation or loneliness, said. Now, to be perfectly honest, when it comes to maturity, um, not everyone becomes mature at the same rate. And then you have certain individuals who remain immature, um, even in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and what have you. Okay. Now, what is an acceptable age um, to marry? Um, I would rather table that until we have a discussion on marriage as far as what is an appropriate age for marriage. I would argue that the teenage years are not a good example because you're still maturing, hopefully, and you have all those emotional feelings and whatnot that could interfere with your judgment. Another reason for divorce is unexpected expectations. Unrealistic expectations about how the household will run, where you will live, and how you'll be treated as a spouse are one of the top reasons for divorce in the United States. Now, this goes back to what I mean talking about not properly vetting your would be spouse. Okay. Because you need to have serious discussions, okay, regarding many things. Among the things that you're gonna have to have a serious discussion on is how to deal with finances. If you're talking about having children, how children are going to be raised. If you talk, and then there's also there's the discussion regarding what will be the roles of the household. Okay, because not every household you're going to have the same roles. Okay, particularly nowadays when you have multiple different lifestyles, multiple different beliefs. You need to be try to be on the same page as much as possible. You're gonna have some differences. You go- you're going to interpret things differently. It is perfectly understandable, but there should be some clear understanding. And whenever there is areas of disagreement, trying to find ways uh, to work together as a team. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. So, the topic for tonight: what is why divorce? Okay. So right now, I'm just simply discussing some of the reasons why marriages end in divorce. Okay. Another issue is lack of equality. Early signs of inequality in a marriage might include double standards or having one partner make all the decisions. If you feel pigeonholed into a gentle stereotype in marriage, that may be another sign of inequality. But let me give you my okay. And again, it has one of the things that we do have to discuss is roles. Okay, roles is regarding each party. Okay. Now, of course, and good evening, Gwen Brooklyn. Thank you very much for stopping by. The topic for tonight is why divorce. Okay, so I'm just discussing reasons why marriages end to divorce. Okay, and there are multiple reasons. Um, Among them, infidelity, um, marrying too young, lack of equality. Now, let me just state for the record: when I was growing up, I was taught that the man makes the decisions. Okay. In time, I I've evolved to the point when it says when it comes to making decisions, the final decision maker is God Himself. And the reason why for that is that it has to do with accountability. Just like um, just like the wife is accountable to the husband's accountable to the wife, and if there's a marriage based on Christian principles, that both are accountable to God. Okay. Of course, we understand that not every marriage is it's a Christian marriage, but that is my parameter. Okay. So, and one thing that can damage a marriage is a double standard. In fact, there is an old saying: "What is good for the goose is good for the gander." Okay. Another reason: inadequate preparation. Little or no pre-marriage preparation can make cohabitation overwhelming. Having a hard time living with your spouse is a leading cause of divorce. Signs of inadequate preparation may include underdeveloped skills of home maintenance, household routines, or finance management. Lack of preparation may also mean skipping conversation about long-term marriage goals related to children, careers, spouse roles, and preferred lifestyles. Yeah, yeah. This I don't know if it's 50%, but it's definitely a high number, Irving. Now, one thing that in the Catholic Church, where I'm a practicing Catholic, we have what's called pre-Cana, which is basically what it is that both parties are oriented regarding what is the role of marriage and things of that nature. And again, it's very important that there be discussions regarding what is expected when it comes to finances, when it comes to household chores, when it comes to making major decisions, when it comes to how the children are to be raised and things of that nature. Okay, so these are things that are very important. Okay, and you got to have that discussion prior to marriage. Okay, prior. Okay, because if you don't, you're gonna have a lot of problems. Okay, that's the reality. Okay. So the next thing is domestic violence. Domestic violence can be any pattern of abuse behavior in an intimate relationship that is used to maintain power or control. Domestic violence isn't always physical assault. Committing signs of abusive relationship may include persistent blaming, intimidation, manipulation, and social isolation. Okay. Now, let's see. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. Marriage is not for everybody, but it's something that it is a goal, a healthy goal. Once you have an understanding what you're looking for, once you have an understanding what you expect, and not from yourself but from your partner. Okay. Now, again, domestic violence can come in not just physical abuse; it could be mental abuse, it could be sexual abuse, in the extent where you're trying to force your spouse to engage in sexual practices that she does not feel comfortable. Okay. Some people are not comfortable. Um, I'm gonna try to keep it at least PG rated. Some people are not comfortable when it comes to oral sex. Some people are not comfortable when it comes to anal sex. Some people are not comfortable when it comes to role reversal. Some people are not comfortable when it comes to using sexual toys of that nature, and also certain role reversal and things of that nature. So it's very important that you have a serious discussion with your wife to be, what is expected, what is acceptable for her, what's acceptable to you. Okay, because the fact of the matter is, if you try to enforce your spouse to engage in some sort of sexual activity against her will, uh, it is called rape. Okay, I gotta say that because I don't want to get in trouble with the good people of YouTube. Yes. Okay. So it's I'm sorry. So it's very important that you have a serious discussion uh, regarding all of these issues. Okay. So therefore, you know what's expected. Okay. Now another issue is that leads to divorce is financial problems, having a hard time making ends meet, or having a partner overextend spending may cause stress in the marriage. If you're always being asked for money, it may be a sign that your partner finds financial responsibility a challenge. Unresolved financial challenges are one of the top reasons for divorce. Again, you need to have a discussion when it comes to finances. Okay. And you need to be honest, okay, with your current financial situation. Um, some people have a hard time with doing that, but it's a must. It's a must. Okay. First of all, you're owed to yourself, but you're also owed to the person that you're going to share your life with. Another issue, conflict about domestic work. Unequal distribution of household chores and childcare responsibility may translate into conflict and resentment for one or both parties. Feeling your spouse take you for granted or that you can't rely on them for support may lead to many couples to divorce. Again, communication is the key. Okay. It shouldn't be left to just one person to do the household chores. Okay. It takes two people. Okay. Like one person do the dishes, you know, another person take out the garbage, another person, I mean, in other words, share share the load when it comes to household chores. Okay, share the load. Okay, because look, it takes a lot to maintain a clean home and a healthy home. Okay, and by putting all the burdens on one person, that's a recipe that can cause a lot of problems, and that can lead to unrealistic expectations, and it can have a lot of issues involved. Another issue, lack of family support. If your family doesn't agree with your marriage or your partner, the rift you may feel may contribute to feelings of isolation and loneliness, as well as sense of grief of for lost connections. Your family may exclude your partner, put them down, or encourage you to keep your options open. Both you and your partner may find this pressure difficult to manage, which can cause you to consider divorce as an option. Okay, that could be an issue, okay? And again, you gotta have it, you gotta have a discussion. Yeah, I agree. Look, and the thing is this, you can love your family, but you really have to have a serious discussion with them. Okay. And you're gonna have to make it perfectly clear that whatever misgivings that they may have regarding your spouse, it is your spouse. You made the decision to say I do in front of a judge or a minister or a priest or a rabbi or an almond or what have you. Okay? You made that decision that you're going to live as a couple with that person, which means you're going to have a serious discussion with your family and you're going to have to support your spouse. Okay? If you really want to alienate, don't give the support that your spouse needs, particularly if your spouse is being a loving, caring, supportive spouse, whether it be husband or wife. Okay. And yes, the fact of the matter is, okay, there might be people that might think you could have done better, but the fact of the matter is, you was the one that made the choice to marry your spouse. No one else took a gun in your head and said, marry this person, marry this person. You married that person because you saw in that individual qualities where you can spend hopefully the rest of your life and grow as a family or as a unit. Okay. Another problem: religious differences. If you and your partner have different values, it could be tough to find common ground, says Ogle. If your partner ridicules or demeans your religion early in the relationship or tries to convert you away despite your expressed disinterest, it may be an indicator of future conflict. See, that's could be a problem. Okay. Now, of course, the Bible does talk about um, not being equally yoked. Okay. And that is a good example of what I mean, not equally yoked. Basically, what it is okay, you're going to have some slight differences, but there should be common interests, common values. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that if a Christian decides to marry a Jew or a Muslim or an atheist or a Christian from a different denomination, it doesn't mean that the marriage cannot be prosperous and what have you. But what it does mean is that you're gonna have to. I mean, there should be some common values, okay, and you have to respect the religious traditions and beliefs of your spouse. And you also have to respect the fact that maybe your spouse don't have religious values or traditions. Okay? And look, it's one thing if you wish to share what it is that you believe in a way that's not forcing the person. It's another thing when you're like, you gotta convert to my way of thinking. You gotta convert to my faith system. You gotta convert to my faith philosophy, or else we cannot have a happy marriage. No, that's not. That's a good way for a marriage to end in divorce. Okay. So, ideally, the ideal situation is marry someone that shares similar religious values. Again, it does not mean it's like if you are a Jew and you find someone that 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 has your beliefs and values, and if that person is a Christian or that person is a Muslim or that person is a Buddhist or what have you, or what have you, it does not mean that you cannot have a successful marriage. Okay. Now, let's talk about should couples try separation before divorcing? Um, I'm just going to share with you what's this. There's no evidence that couples may benefit from separation before considering a divorce. According to Hung research shows a majority of separation progress was phased anyway. Separation can, however, be beneficial when both parties are invested in reconciling and just need some time to regroup. Some couples may feel that a temporary separation can help in identifying and resolve the underlying problems in their marriage, says Hong. Separation can give you the time to reflect on your relationship and decide if you want to stay married or not. Okay, let's see what's. Okay, let me just. Okay, let me just. I'm gonna approach it this way. Now, I do have certain beliefs, and ideally speaking, it would be better for me to marry someone that shared my belief system. Okay, finding someone that shares my belief system doesn't it's not a guarantee that the marriage is going to continue until death do us part, because there are other factors. Okay, but again, Vetting is very important. Very important. And let me just stop sharing. Okay. Again, vetting is very important. Okay. Now, what do I mean by vetting? In other words, have serious discussions with the person that you're thinking about marrying. That means you're going to discuss anything and everything. Okay, and let's see here what we have here. And let's say I'm going to marry, I have kids with a Muslim or Christian Muslim. She's going to be raising kids. Okay. Um. Okay. What I would suggest, Irby, that if you do find someone that you love, you do find someone that you wish to share. Okay. Um. I'm not going to say yes or no, but I think the key is this: you got to have a serious discussion with the person that's going to be your spouse about multiple issues. Issue regarding gender roles, issues regarding household responsibility, issues regarding finances, issues regarding how children are going to be raised, issues how children are going to be disciplined, issues like how you're going to deal with your in-laws. Okay. I agree. I agree. Okay. And again, communicate, communicate, communicate. Okay. You need to let the other person know what you expect, what you hope for, but at the same time, there need to be some compromise. Okay. I would. Okay, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Not likely to marry a Muslim person. No, no disrespect to anyone that's a Muslim. It does that. It is a different faith system. Okay, and I don't, and I think Muslims should marry Muslim people. Okay, I think that's a more realistic expectation. But you know what? Even with Islam, there's different interpretations of Islam. There's different interpretations of the Quran. Okay, and you have different aspects of Islam where it's more conservative. Okay, like for example, you see some women that wear just a hijab with their face uncovered. You have other women that have their face covered and that they cover from head to toe. Okay. I think it has, okay, I'm not sure, but it may have to do with modesty. If there's any Muslim women in the audience, if you can just please chime in. I don't want to say anything out of pocket or anything that's incorrect because I'll be perfectly honest. I do not know a great deal of Islam. What I do know is that you have certain elements of Islam which are more conservative than others, mainly when it comes to gender roles, mainly when it comes to attire. Okay, Th- there are some women that dress more modern, and then you have women who more conservative. Okay, that's and again, This is not a right or wrong, it's a reality. Okay. Now, the fact of the matter is, um, more women initiate divorce. Now, it could be for many reasons. Okay. And again, let me make this perfectly clear, ladies. I am not trying to target women. I am not trying to be anti women. I am so simply stating a reality. Okay. It seems like today, particularly women here in the United States, they're more inclined to initiate a divorce. And it could be for several factors that I had alluded to earlier in the stream, such as infidelity, abuse, neglect, uneven household responsibilities, and so on. And unfortunately, we have some women who initiate divorce because they're trying to quote unquote find who they are and be kinder to themselves. And again, part of the problem is, again, and this is something I'm just as guilty, is we, you know, yes, it does. Yes, it does. And the reason why it does play such a big role, because again, whenever one of the spouses is unfaithful, it damages and destroys the trust that the other party has. And sometimes that damage is unmanageable, savable. Okay. Uh, I okay. You know what? Men and women cheat, but they do it for different reasons. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do a stream next week regarding why people cheat. Okay. Now it does appear that men are more guilty of being unfaithful or straying, but let's keep it real. Women are just as capable of being unfaithful. Okay. And then what happened is some of them get pregnant, and then what they do is they lead their spouse to believe that the child is theirs, knowing full well that it's not. And I actually did have a discussion regarding um, parental fraud in my stream last year. I think what I will do is when I do it, I will link it to the stream so people, if they have not had an opportunity to watch it, they can do so. Okay. But yes, infidelity does play a huge role in why marriages end. Okay. But the reality is this: not everyone is wired to be in a monogamous relationship. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And let me tell you something. When a person strays or cheats, first of all, not only does it damages the trust that exists, but if the person is but if the person is foolish not to use devices to prevent pregnancy or the transmission of sexual diseases. What happens is the estranged spouse brings those diseases to an unsuspected spouse, and then that person becomes infected. So what happens is not only does one partner gets infected with an STD, but the other partner gets infected. Why? Because the person decides to engage in unprotected sexual activity outside the marriage. Okay. So now I have been talking for over an hour. Okay. If anyone wishes to join the panel, they're more than welcome to do so. Okay. And discuss the topic. Of course, you're more than welcome to continue discussing it, in the chat. Again, if this is your first time being here, I will ask that you camp up in the backstage for the reasons that I alluded to. Should no one decides to join me, okay, or no one other activity, then I'll start to wrap it up. Okay, so let's see. Give me a moment. Okay, oops. Just give me a moment because sometimes my computer takes a little bit of time. Okay, let's see. Now I'm going to share another article. I know this is going to sound controversial because let's keep it real. Women initiate more divorces than men. Okay. But again, there are many issues. Yeah. That's you see, and that's the reason why you shouldn't cheat. And again, and let me say this, if you know in your heart and heart that you cannot remain faithful to one person, do not marry that person. Or the very least, be honest with that person. Okay. So let's see, I'm just going to share. And again, let me make this perfectly clear. I'm not here to put the blame on women, because men and women are just as guilty. Okay, so now I'm not going to go over the article, but as you can see, there's an interesting question. Who files for divorce more in the US? And as you can see here, women tend to file for divorce more frequently than men. Okay. And this is a key factor. Women initiate divorce more often now than in the past because women now have more job opportunities and higher independent income, making getting a divorce less financially risky than what it was in the past. Divorce has become easier to get, especially after legislation of no-fault divorce. This opened up a simple route to break free from a no longer viable marriage without having to prove the legal reasons for divorce. Oops, let's put this back. And here is a pie chart. Okay, as you can see by the pie chart, 31% of the men initiate divorce, and 69% of the women initiate divorce. again, I'm not trying to attack women. I'm just simply stating the fact. And then some. These are some of the factors I allude to why women are in the position where they initiate more divorce. And some of them has to do with women being unhappy in marriage, and then many factors as far as that's concerned. Now, here's an interesting statistic. About 29 to 30% of husbands file for divorce, according to surveys. Since remaining two-thirds of divorce filings come from women, it's safe to say that men are more satisfied in marriages. I don't know if I would agree to that, but that's interesting. Marriage brings about several benefits for married men compared to their unmarried peers. In particular, marriage is linked to a range of positive health effects for men. It enhances mental health, reduces the risk of depression, and involves cognitive function. Married men also live 2.2 years longer than unmarried men. Possible reason is that their wives often help them with staying healthy by encouraging healthy habits and offering chances to make healthy choices. And here, these are the reasons why marriages, women initiate divorce. Unmet needs, deficient life work balance, husband's unfaithfulness, alcohol addiction, physical and emotional violence, better support system, fewer regrets. So these are some of the factors why women are more comfortable these days getting a divorce. Good evening, Multi. Thank you very much for stopping by. Um, thank you. The topic of tonight is why seek divorce. So what I'm doing is just basically getting into the why and then many factors, okay? And in reality, women initiate more divorces, but part of it has to do that women have more options now than what they did, say, 30, 40, or 50 years ago. So that's the reason why, okay? Plus, there are other factors involved, okay? So some of them, I'm not going to go through all of them. Unmet needs is self-explanatory, okay, which could be many needs, okay. Excuse me. And these are the things that may be neglected. Recognizing value in the work done at a home and a day job, affection of physical contact, companion support, family commitment, assistance with household duties, financial support, honesty, and openness. Okay, so another issue is deficient life work balance. Basically, spending too much time at work or outside the home, and this is as a graph shows some impacts of income. Excuse me. I'm not going to get it. Okay. Another key issue is unfaithfulness by the husband. And here, excuse me. This is a graph that unfortunately men tend to cheat more, but women cheat as well. Okay. Yeah, that's another. Well, you know what? That's another topic. Okay. Another problem why women decide to a more easier make it easier to more inclined is alcohol addiction from the spouse. And that's and then there's abuse. Okay. And here we see, which, unfortunately, abuse exists because of many factors, and that's something that I need to discuss at some point regarding the effects of abuse. And these are other factors, better support systems, because there are, the court system is generally in favor of women, and women have more options. And these are the reasons why men initiate divorce. I'm not going to go over that. I'm just going to unmet needs, and unmet needs could be anything: emotional, spiritual, physical, sexual, or what have you. And again, it has to do with communicate. Deficient life work balance, unfaithfulness. Okay. So these are some of the lack of sex. Again, guys, it's very important, extremely important to communicate about anything and everything. Okay. When you don't communicate, you don't let your partner know what's going on, and then your partner is, bushwhack about a divorce, and she doesn't have a clue why, or the husband doesn't know why the wife is getting divorced, because again, communicate. And another issue is, midnight guys. Now I'm just gonna stop sharing here. Okay, this is the thing. And I'm going to be careful with what I'm going to say, because certain people are going to misinterpret. But the thing is, if we're truly talking about equality among the sexes, that means that if the husband or the ex-husband is the custodial parent of the children, the ex-wife should pay child support. It also means that the wife or the ex-wife should be paying spousal support as well. It shouldn't just be all the men. Okay. Good evening, Rakeem. Thank you very much for stopping by. So this is the thing. If they want true equality, that means in every aspect, and not in just some, because this is the problem. And I'm going to say some women, because I know people are going to get upset with me, but whatever. I mean, some people cry about equality, but they don't believe it. Only when it benefits them. Okay. So that's been my take when it comes to divorce. Okay. Now, I try to keep it even across the board. And again, this is not to attack women. This is not to attack men, but this is a serious discussion why divorce exists. Now, I have been talking for 75 minutes. Okay. Sure, anyone, and I repeat, anyone, male or female, wishes to join the panel and opine regarding the topic, whether it be in agreement to what I've said, whether you people think that I don't know the fluff I'm talking about, okay, or maybe disagree with anything I discuss, you're more than welcome to join the panel and express your point of view. All I ask of you is let's be civil when we disagree, okay? Because we all have different points of view. We all see things differently, and that's perfectly fine. There's no problem with that. Okay. Because here, see, here on this platform, we welcome points of view. We welcome interaction. We allow people to express their point as long as they're mutually respectable. Okay. This is not an echo chamber. Okay. Um, hopefully, no. If anyone wishes to join in and express their point of view, by all means, do so. If no one else, then I'll start to wrap it up. Okay. But I decided, okay, and I know, Rakim, I know that you have certain points of view. Okay. And I know the ladies have certain points of view as well. You're more than welcome to come and express them, whether you agree, disagree, whether you think I know what I'm talking about, well, or whether you think I don't know the fluff going on. Okay. But as a person that's been divorced for over 12 years, I do um, have somewhat of an understanding when it comes to the topic. And I will state it right here, right now. And I stated, to my coworkers at work. I mean, both me and my ex-spouse, we were responsible for why the marriage ended in divorce. Okay, I'm not gonna blame everything on my ex-wife. I'm not gonna take all the blame for it. I mean, because it takes two people to have an argument. Okay, so if not, I will start to wrap this up by having a short discussion regarding what's going to be the topic for Friday's stream. I just wanted to have a civil discussion uh, regarding divorce and and of course, ladies will look at things one way, men will look at things another way, and there is no right or wrong. Okay, because we all are guided by our own personal experiences. We are all guided by our life stories, our experiences, knowledges. We are both guided by how we were raised, because that does play a role in our philosophy and how we look at things as well as marriage and relationships and things of that nature. So, so, guys, do you wish to join the panel, or should I start to wrap this up? Okay. Well, I guess what I'll do is, well, first of all, shout out to the people watching this stream. If you have not done so, please hit that like button. Okay. It doesn't cost you anything, and it does help with the algorithm. Okay. And one thing I think you will find regarding this platform is that we have mature, open discussion regarding each topic, and I encourage dialogue. Okay. This is not an echo chamber. Okay. Okay. Well, you know what? There'll be other times. There'll be other times. But that being the case, I'm going to talk about what's going to be the topic regarding Friday's stream, which is what is grief. Now, I have discussed this before, um, but unfortunately, the fact of the matter is we will all experience grief at various stages of our life. And right now, I'm experiencing the grief. Um, some of you already know, or some of you don't know, that I had a death in the family on Monday. My nephew passed away. He was young, he was in his late 40s. And I think we still haven't gotten all the details what led to his demise. Okay, but it's something that was unexpected, and we're dealing with it now. And we will have whatever services that will be done, whether it be he'll be buried or cremated or what have you. So we will, when the time is right, we will pay our final respects to my nephew, Jimmy Santiago. So I will have a discussion regarding grief. Okay. Also, I'll be planning my streams for next week. I'm going to try to um, you know, do a more upbeat stream. Actually, I'm thinking about doing another stream regarding humorous moments on the platform. Okay, because if anyone that's been following me, there have been a lot of humorous moments on the platform. So, oh, and before I forget, let me just state that Multi has her own channel. The 18th letter has his channel. So, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so, please consider subscribing to their channels. What I'm going to do soon is put, okay, I don't know how, okay. I'm going to see if I can put the link in the chat. I need to learn how to do that. So therefore, whenever people watch the stream, they can go and click on the link, and then they can go to their platforms, because I do believe in supporting other creators that are producing great content. Multi produces great content. The 18 level produces great content. GG produces great content. Irby, whenever you do decide to create content, I'll be doing the same thing. So, yes, let us follow Irby's example, and if you can, please spread the word regarding my channel and encourage others to support me as well. Okay, I'm happy to say I got 325 subs. Of course, the more the merrier. But regardless, I will continue to try to be the best version of myself and produce content which hopefully you will enjoy. So, what is my final take when it comes to divorce? It is something that does occur. It's a reality. It happens every day. Some of it is avoidable, others is not. The key, and again, you need to properly vent your partner. You need to communicate communicate, and let your soon-to-be partner know what you are hoping for and expecting, and be willing to compromise when necessary. It shouldn't be your way or the highway, okay? That's not a marriage. That's a dictatorship, okay? And unfortunately, you have some people who operate their marriages in that way, and then that's the reason why it ends in divorce. So, with that being said, I did enjoy having this discussion regarding this divorce. Something that needed to be discussed. It's kind of ironic considering next week is Valentine's Day, but it is what it is. And of course, all of you are more than welcome to opine and put your comments in the chat and comments after the stream is over. All that I ask is please be respectable, because if not, you will be blocked. It is that simple. So, and again, a huge shout out to everyone that appeared in the chat: Brooklyn William, Gigi, Multi, Irving. I appreciate all you guys, because you didn't have to come here and enter your comments. You could have watched literally hundreds of thousands of other YouTube creators. You decided to share and listen to me talk, and I appreciate all of you. So with that being said, I'm going to close by saying the following: we must do everything possible to reduce our exposure to the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, and I wish all of you a very wonderful good night. Be the best version of yourself. Take care and peace.